sometimes you just feel a profound pull for a sense of adventure, which is how we ended up boarding the ferry to the Olympic Peninsula one Saturday morning. There are several ferry stations along the peninsula and Seattle, and the fares vary depending on where you're traveling to, the number of passengers, and if you're bringing a vehicle. But for reference, our one-way fare from Edmonds to Kingston with a car and 2 passengers was about $30. Once you pay for the ferry ride, you will be directed to drive onto the actual ferry about 5 to 10 minutes before it leaves. We got lucky with one of the side lanes, so we got a beautiful window view of the water.
Wanna go now? You need it for your vlog.
You can stay in your car for the whole ride, or you can walk around the ferry. Upstairs they have a large seating area and even some booths where you can look out at the view, have a snack, or even work on jigsaw puzzles that they provide. If you venture outside, they have a few viewing decks, but be warned that it is super windy and cold out here during the winter time. There is also an upper deck with 360-degree views as well. We have barely left Seattle and already I'm so excited for this ferry ride. I love being on boats and on the water in general. It got a bit too chilly for us, so we ventured back inside. This was my first ever ferry experience in Seattle, so I was soaking every moment in. I've realized I'm kind of obsessed with bodies of water. There's just something about being near them that settles me, whether it's a huge lake, the ocean, or even a quieter stretch right outside the city. Living in Seattle these past 6 months, I've mostly stuck close to the water I already know. I haven't really explored much beyond that yet. But with the weather starting to warm up, I'm honestly just excited to get out there even more. See new spots, spend more time by the water, and finally take advantage of everything that's been right here all along. Once we disembarked from the ferry, we started driving towards our first destination, Olympic National Park. Our drive took us through scenic small towns right by the water. Seeing the colorful houses and white picket fences makes me feel like I'm in a totally different part of the country. Everything looks so picturesque here. There's also a lot of bridges in these areas to connect the different towns. All of them have stunning views. These clips really don't do it justice. Our drive soon turned into forests on each side of the road. I don't think I've been on a drive like this since visiting Western Canada a few years back. And after about an hour, we reached the trailhead. I was really curious to see how the hiking would be different than the ones we usually do in the Seattle area. We also got really lucky with the weather, seeing the sunlight streaming through these trees. It was all really beautiful. And take a look at that moss-covered tree. It's so otherworldly. The other difference I'm noticing so far is that it's chillier out here than on the mainland, so make sure to bring an extra layer if you're planning to hike out here. I also love that this hike had a little bit of everything: trees, ferns, moss, rivers, bridges, and as you can see so far, was really well maintained and clean. There's even a few campsites along the trail with access to the river. It was a bit too chilly to camp out this time, but maybe it'll be fun to try it out in the summertime. Comment below if you'd like to see a camping vlog. We also came across these fun-shaped jelly-looking fungi. After a bit of research, I found out these are called golden jelly cones. I feel really lucky to have the forests of the Pacific Northwest as my backyard. Being surrounded by so many evergreens, mossy trails, and quiet stretches of woods just an hour or two away from Seattle is something I don't take for granted. Places like the Olympics and Mount Rainier don't feel like vacation spots. They feel like part of weekly rituals. Whenever I step onto a trail, everything slows down. The air feels fresher, my thoughts feel clearer, and whatever stress I'm carrying just softens a bit. Being in nature here is grounding in a way that's hard to explain, and I'm genuinely grateful to call this place home. Poulsbo is a small town located in Kitsap County on the Olympic Peninsula. Designed to mimic a small European town, Poulsbo is also known as Little Norway. I don't know if it was a mix of Valentine's Day, a long weekend, or the amazing weather, but it was packed with crowds this Saturday afternoon. The longest line was for Slew's Bakery, so I definitely won't be trying it out this time. Curious if any one of you has been here before, and what are your thoughts on their pastries? Located on the main downtown strip, Details is a home goods shop with one location on Poulsbo and another on Bainbridge Island. All pieces in the store are thoughtfully curated to celebrate the seasons and to be a source of inspiration.
It's like who's on this?
I don't know. Like a little teddy bear.
Oh, it's so cute. Good. This is a really nice dog. I like this dog.
They also have a beautiful section dedicated to gardening. Here they feature small businesses with handmade and organic ingredients. Browsing all the soaps and lotions and taking in their scents really felt like being in an actual garden. And I don't know if any of you do the same, but no matter how dry my hands are, I will only ever apply lotion to the backside so I don't get lotion grease on everything I touch. The styling of the store kind of reminds me a lot of Nancy Meyer's films. Or is it just me? And even though they sell everything from home goods to body care, books, and clothing, everything is so well curated and laid out that it still feels very cohesive and is a pleasant shopping experience. I've been loving all things gingham pattern lately. Well, anything that's reminiscent of a picnic. There's something kind of charming about wandering into a beautifully curated little shop, especially in a cute small town like this. I don't even need to buy anything. Just being surrounded by thoughtfully chosen pieces, warm lighting, and that cozy atmosphere instantly lifts my mood. It feels less like shopping and more like soaking up inspiration. Nordiska is a Scandinavian and Nordic specialty shop selling housewares, kitchen goods, and gifts. With remnants of holiday decor around, it felt cozy and nostalgic browsing around. I loved this Marimekko carafe. I think what got me was this unique combination of colors. Much of the Nordic philosophy on life revolves around finding joy in the simple things, such as a cup of tea or a warm fire. So these daily experiences are then elevated by aesthetic cups and dishes. It turns out the egg I spotted earlier is made up of an egg white holder and a separate yolk candle. I don't know why these simple kitsch items catch my eye so much. Beyond the main street of shops and restaurants is a waterfront park and marina. I still can't believe how nice the weather was today. It was perfect for exploring Poulsbo. I also really loved driving around these parts of town. The houses here are so colorful and immaculate. It feels like I'm in a movie set rather than on someone's street. Hi! It's now been a few days since I returned from the weekend trip to the Olympic Peninsula, and I'm so glad I had the chance to do a little getaway like that. So today is Tuesday, February 17th, which also means it's Lunar New Year, and I am so excited to welcome the Year of the Horse finally. And it's like, I was kind of thinking about this a lot in the couple weeks leading up to today. So as you may or may not know, I'm actually Taiwanese. And honestly, for the most part, growing up, my family did not make a big deal out of celebrating Lunar New Year. So I only kind of vaguely know a little bit of the traditions, the superstitions, and the food that goes into this holiday celebration. I feel like the most we would ever do was just a family get together with extended family that lived in the area, and we would either do a potluck at someone's home, or we would go out and do a banquet style family lunch or dinner, and that's pretty much the extent of it. So as I get older and now I live away from family again, I kind of want to maintain as many cultural traditions as I can. Traditional, maybe not necessarily to my family, but it's nice to be able to hold on to my Taiwanese culture in ways that I create for myself as an adult. And I've mentioned this in my previous vlog, but it's honestly been so busy in the last few weeks with work, which I'm also so grateful for. And there's also been a lot of fun YouTube opportunities coming up that I'm excited to share with you later on in this channel. But it also means that I'm just tired all the time. I don't really think much or make time to do much else besides work. So with the trip earlier this week, that really reminded me why taking time away for yourself is really important. And going along with that, it's now 3 p.m. and I have a lot of work to do still. I've got major deadlines coming up in the next 2 weeks, but I am gonna end work early today, take some time to reset, and I'm gonna cook a Lunar New Year dinner. So on the menu tonight, I'm gonna be making longevity noodles as well as lion's head meatballs. And a big part of why I chose those two items to make tonight was because I don't live near an Asian grocery store. So those were the two dishes that I could realistically make from scratch without having to go to an Asian grocery store specifically. And also, I'm all dressed for the occasion. I've actually heard conflicting reports of whether or not it's good to wear red this year, which is a traditionally good luck color to wear during the new year. So instead I've gone with earth tones. I am actually surprisingly not wearing any black or white because as far as you guys know, even down to my socks, because as far as you guys know, that's pretty much like 99% of my closet. So hopefully I'm ringing in the new year right with this more earth-toned color palette. I also love to hear from you guys if you happen to grow up celebrating Lunar New Year or some form of it, or currently celebrated nowadays. What traditions do you have, and what's on the menu for this year's celebrations? Okay, let's get cooking. Longevity noodles are a traditional dish for Lunar New Year as well as for birthdays. Typically made using egg-fried noodles, eating noodles is important on these occasions since their long, unbroken length symbolizes a long life. And the final vegetable for the noodles will be shiitake mushrooms for that boost of umami flavor that will complement the sauce perfectly. And I'm throwing in a stalk of celery for some extra texture. Heat some oil in a pan, and let's start with the garlic. Once the vegetables are cooked, add in soy sauce, oyster sauce, toasted sesame oil, and white pepper powder. I don't live near an Asian grocery store, so this was the best I could find. These are so short. I hope we'll still live a long and prosperous life. I somehow forgot to film the ingredients of these meatballs, but it's basically ground pork, oyster sauce, Chinese cooking wine, soy sauce, salt, sugar, minced ginger, sesame oil, 1 egg, and chopped celery to sub water chestnut. And I'm also adding some cornstarch. Mix all the ingredients together until it forms a thick paste. The meatballs are fried in batches, turning them once they become crisp and medium brown. Let's work on the sauce in the meantime. Melt some brown sugar in oil. And add in some cooking wine, followed by soy sauce, oyster sauce, and water. Once again, forgot to film the rest, but the meatballs are added into the sauce for about 10 to 15 minutes and the dish is done. This Lunar New Year feels different from previous years. I'm celebrating it with a new person in my life, in a new city, with new dishes I've never cooked before. While there are so many new elements in my life, I feel grateful for how warm and familiar they already feel. And I look forward to what this new year of the horse has in store. I hope you've been having a wonderful start to the new year as well. Thank you for all of your support this past year. It definitely was a shining moment for me. If you enjoyed this vlog, please consider subscribing or giving this video a like. I have many more fun adventures planned for Seattle, so I'll see you soon in the next one.